Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I'm Deepika Mirapu, and I'm joined in conversation today with Dr. G. Gopakumar. He is a leading political scientist and a psephologist. He was also the former Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Kerala. He's the Director General of the Institute of Parliamentary Affairs, Government of Kerala, and also Director of the V.K. Krishna Study Center for International Relations. Thank you so much for joining, sir. I'm also joined this evening by my colleague and Deputy Editor Sharan Povanna, who reports from Bangalore and who's had his boots on the ground in Kerala, touring the entire state. We are here to talk about the nail-biting contest in Kerala. It's turned out to be a complete cliffhanger between the LDF and the UDF, with overlapping margins, very, very narrow projections, and outliers expected to do better than the veterans. The Kerala election in 2026 is turning out to be a complete cliffhanger and totally unpredictable. Before we go to Professor Gopakumar, Sharan, you've been touring the state for nearly 2 weeks. What are your first observations? You've been telling us that it's no clear call. There's no clear wave for the UDF or the LDF. What do you gather from the ground?
Now, this election is the most complex of all. It has some similarities with the 1965 midterm elections, which did not produce a government. Unlike 1965, there are more political parties in UDF and LDF, and BJP has got two small allies. And therefore, even if a hung assembly is emerging, definitely one or other small constituents of LDF may switch on to UDF or vice versa, because these alliances are not ideological. And therefore, even if a hung verdict comes, I'm not sure, even if a hung verdict comes, I can assure you that there will be a government in May, because coalition partners can switch sides, and they have done it so many times. Why it is complex? It is complex because a record in Kerala political history, a 10-year government, a government who served continuously for 2 terms, is asking for a fresh mandate. Equally challenging is that the opposition, UDF, sitting in the opposition for 10 years, desperately need power back, because otherwise it was alternating power in Kerala politics every 5 years. It was lapsed in 2021 when the LDF renewed its mandate. Whether it is going to get a third mandate is the most challenging question. Again, it is complex because, unlike the past, BJP is slowly and steadily emerging, though not on a rapid scale. Definitely, BJP is trying to get more votes, more vote share, and definitely few seats as well. And the growth of BJP is upsetting the bipolarism in Kerala. Kerala politics is moving towards tripolarism, but that tripolar is not equal. Say, for example, hypothetically, I would say if UDF gets 42% and LDF gets 38%, and among the rest 20%, if BJP gets 18%. So there is a ill balance, but the fact is that 18% is not a small number in Kerala politics. We have a multi-party system, but that multi-party system has been stabilized thanks to the coalition model. Initially, it was non-Congressism, and then Congress also studied this problem very well. And ever since K. Karunakaran became the leader of the UDF since 1980, he tried to ensure that every 5 years there is a change of government so that UDF gets power back. But it was lapsed in 2021 when LDF was re-elected to power. Are they going to be re-elected again for a third term is a crucial question. Furthermore, one more point, Kerala has subtle form of communalism. We also have a little bit of radical communalism. And this subtle form of communalism is prevalent in almost all political parties. No party is an exception. But two small but radical Muslim outfits, Jamaat-e-Islami and SDPI.
Yes.
Both of them are respectively with UDF and LDF. One with UDF, Jamaat-e-Islami, and SDPI with the LDF. But the presence of both these factions is also going to impact the electoral vote. And in the last lap, when the BJP was trying to get a little more outreach with the Christian community, they made a mistake when the FCRA legislation bill was introduced in the floor of the House. Considering the uproar in Kerala politics, the NDA government temporarily withdrew the presentation of the bill and assured that all parties and stakeholders will be consulted before presenting it again before the Lok Sabha. So all these made Kerala politics very lively, and therefore
Right.
it is going to be a tripolar competition where predictions becomes highly difficult and measuring a wave also becomes difficult. Thank you.
Right. Sharon, if you were to make your opening remarks on your observations on what you gleaned from your 2-week trip, would they be largely, in sync with what Professor Gopkumar has been just sharing?
Hi, Deepika. Yes, it is largely with what the professor just shared. What is, at least what we observed in our reporting, is that the LDF is promoting and projecting its clear leadership, and the UDF is falling behind on this leadership issue. The Pinarayi Vijayan is the undisputed leader of the LDF, and if you travel through Kerala, I don't think you will find you won't find a single kilometer stretch without a big smiling picture of Pinarayi Vijayan on every LDF hoarding. For the
Right.
Congress, it's different. It depends on which region you are. You will see different leaders, candidates on their own. For the BJP and NDA, again, it's mostly the candidates. The obvious missing person in a lot of these pictures is Kerala's only Lok Sabha MP, Mr. Suresh Gopi. But yeah,
Yeah, you
these
said.
are, yeah, this sort of gives us different signals on what's happening. So, as we understand, there's a lot of anger against LDF, or there's a lot of pro sentiment against LDF. So it is a battle of whether we want to vote for LDF or against LDF. Not too many people speaking about UDF, but as Professor Gopkumar said, this happens every 5 years where the choice kind of changes. But it's very important for us to understand which way the minorities will consolidate. The Christians we've spoken to quite a few Christian groups, spiritual leaders. They say that they are trying to consolidate a very fragmented sort of group. The Muslims are at the moment, they seem to be supporting different parties or different candidates under different banners in different regions. But in places where they have a common opponent, let's say like in northern Kerala, where the BJP is eyeing an entry, there they're looking to consolidate. So it's different in different parts. So yes, it's not a wave election, that much I can probably say safely as of now. So it's very difficult for us to really say whether the LDF will storm back into power or the UDF will make a small dent and return to power with the kind of equations that Professor Gopkumar just referred to. In fact, just yesterday, Mr. Shashi Tharoor in an interview said that the UDF may not have an overwhelming majority, but we still have the lead. So it kind of gives an indication of that it's not a wave election. But yeah, there are pros for LDF having this decisive leadership, having grown a lot. The Kerala growth model that they've projected,
Yeah.
the embracing of private capital, all of this has helped the middle class and the larger society in Kerala. The UDF, on the other hand, is going on the offensive, saying that this particular Kerala model is very debt ridden and could cause problems in the future. So both of them have very different narratives or trying to pull down one another. But at the moment, it's a very close elections to call.
Professor, if I were to come back to you and ask you to do a SWOT analysis of the LDF and UDF, what would it look like? At least for the UDF, I think if we were to sum it up in a single liner or a one liner, I think we can very safely say that the more things change, the more they're likely to remain the same. So as much as they are trying to project a certain kind of unity within the entire alliance, and I think there's so much of diversity within the Congress itself. They all speak in different voices. So things continue to remain the same there. The fact that you have too many chief ministerial aspirants doesn't help at all. My question is, are things any different, looking any different for the UDF?
If you're looking for the probable support base of UDF, it is relatively very strong because it has two prominent advantages. Number one, it is likely to take the lion's share of the anti-incumbency effect. And anti-incumbency is built upon factors like price rise for essential commodities and government services, huge unemployment, great economic crisis following around 5 lakh crore of debt, more than that, then institutional corruption, party
Right.
corruption, then public funded hospitals are in poor shape. Quality education is also declining because of over politicization, lack of employment, and students migrate to foreign countries even for undergraduate positions. So
Right.
all these are, and when I mention about corruption, I also keep in mind the gold theft in Sabarimala. So all these
Yeah.
goes in favor of the UDF, as a result of which the UDF has some situational advantages, which is marginally upset because of the presence of the BJP, because BJP also claims to be in the opposition, and it is a major opposition at the national level, but at the local level or regional level, BJP is coming up. I will speak about that little later, not for
Yeah.
this question. And
Yeah.
definitely the BJP, the UDF also has the advantage of social engineering.
Mm.
I don't know whether you have the proper statistics of Kerala's population details. Kerala has a substantial minority population,
That's
unlike
true. I
the,
mean, it's said that they have about 47%, the Christians and
but
Muslims
even the
account.
47 is contestable. I would put it 49%.
Oh,
Why? Because we have 28% Muslims, we have 17% Christians according to the census. But
right.
what is not visible is among the scheduled castes, which is around 10%, 10.5%, they are theoretically or technically called Hindus, but there is a substantial number of Dalit Christians.
Yes.
So in my mind, it is 49 minimum because Dalit Christians are not counted in the census, but they are considered as Hindus. So Kerala is not a Hindu majority state. Kerala is hardly a Hindu majority state with 50 or 51% maximum. And moreover, the social engineering has an advantage for the UDF because the Hindu votes are divided between CPM and
Yes.
the BJP. CPM has a substantial Hindu population, and the BJP is a Hindu-based party. So that advantage also goes to UDF. I stop here now because you asked me
Yes.
question.
So the same question goes to you, Sharon. Do you think health, education, human development indices, these factors continue to matter in Kerala's election this time? And is the UDF being able to reap any kind of gains from LDF slippages, with respect to the scams, the distillery brewery scam, the sprinkler deals, and of course, the gold theft in Shabarimala?
Yeah, again, these are very region specific. Now, Kerala already has a very robust, decentralized system. Their healthcare has been good for many, many years. Their, education system, their government education system, all of these are at a very good level compared to the rest of the country. So these are things that are a given. Now, people are looking at development in the sense of what's improved around them, right? Now, if there is a tech park near them, how many of them have actual jobs of that? If people are involved in that growth story. Now, these are questions that they're asking. Now, a very interesting part we found is the part where from Mangalore to Kasargod, the section of that NH66 is complete. Now, the BJP is saying that, look, under the BJP, this is the kind of development there is. And for Kasargod, Mangalore is everything, right? For everything, they go to Mangalore. Kannur is just 92 kilometers away, but it takes over 2.5 hours. And this section, a lot of diversions, not completed stretches of roads. So then people say that what has Pinarayi Vijayan done, even though they're claiming that all of these highways are completed, but nothing seems to be completed. There is a credit war as to the Pinarayi Vijayan government saying that we are short of funds because the Modi government isn't giving us funds, but then also, claiming stake in building the NH66, which is a national highways project. But of course, the Pinarayi government is now saying that we are the ones who allowed or rather paid a higher land acquisition rates to actually make this happen. So there is a difference in how people are viewing it. No one's going back to the part where they're saying that our panchayat is good or our school is good. In many other states, this actually matters. But Kerala already has a very strong platform in its grassroots levels. So people are looking as to how Pinarayi Vijayan or the LDF is built on this. Now, there are places like Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi, Thrissur that actually sees these tangible developments and claim that, okay, there has been some development. But then there are backward regions like, let's say, Malappuram and other places where construction of many things aren't very possible. So there they have these questions as to, okay, what have we got in this entire Kerala growth story? The gap is widening. So the HDI indicators are very good, but have always been good. What has changed in the last 10 years is the question they seem to ask a lot. Now, the middle class, most of them skilled workers who work in these techno parks and info parks, they seem to be doing very well for themselves. There's a growth story happening around there. It's very nice. But the people in the villages are asking, okay, now where do we stand in all of this? The people with all of the money and lakhs in salary or whatever in salary are buying cars and everything, but we are still fighting in the panchayat level. So where do we stand? So this kind of disparity, in comparative disparity, is something that people really question in Kerala, and a lot of them have been questioning if the LDF is the one that can help them come out of this. And then it's almost like a bargaining chip. Every 5 years, we'll vote for you, and if you don't listen to us, we'll vote for somebody else. So this has been going on, as Professor Gopkumar said. This has been going on for quite some time. So there is no community, there is no section that is out of bounds, and no one is taken for granted. They could switch anyways.
Yes. Thank you so much for putting that out as clearly as you just did. Professor, coming back to you, somebody from the Congress here in Telangana and in fact even in Andhra told me that people will always vote on what is being promised to them. They're not really looking at what has already been delivered. They say that the Congress's guarantees, whether in Kerala, Karnataka, Telangana, have all been getting a lot of eyeballs because of they hold a lot of promise. The BJP also has been talking about Vikasita Keralam. So, as compared to the guarantees and BJP's Vikasita Keralam, do you think that the people of Kerala are actually buying any of these arguments? And as a contrast, what is the left really offering to the people of Kerala?
The manifesto, in fact, came much late.
Yes.
They are paying a lip service, and therefore it has become a ritual. And moreover, the cost effectiveness of the guarantees are also contested. For example, uh, free service for all women in Kerala to travel in their state. We have a very powerful middle class, and there are many who can easily afford travel, men or women. We can understand if this has been given to the poor people. And
Right.
similarly, Kerala has a high gross enrollment ratio with women. So there is no need to attract further women because already it is a major. I'm a teacher. I have seen nearly 60% of the total students are girls already in a university or a college. This is something which we see already. So you are giving another 1,000 rupees per month to the girl students. How it is going to improvise? I can understand if this proposal comes in Bihar or Madhya Pradesh. or the Atiska, because we have a substantial GR. So this homework has not been properly done. I don't comment on the other three guarantees that Congress had offered, because it has some sense. It at least offers health insurance for the elderly people, which is
Yes.
important, because Kerala has 20% senior citizens compared to 8% of India. So that is fine. Then again, 5 lakhs for startups, that also is good. Insurance coverage is also good. Those things are all right. But these first two things are highly debatable. And for the BJP, you said about Vikasita Kerala. Since the new leadership has come under Rajiv Chandrasekhar, he is focusing more on development, which is Vikasita Kerala. And the more he speaks on Vikasita Kerala, actually he is trying to emulate Modi style, where development has become the top priority. And since we are a federal system, definitely government of India can also support the state, which is already running on, Kerala is running on heavy debt. So definitely the development idea is most welcome. But one of the problems where uh, the new leadership of the BJP could not focus or was deliberately sidelined, I don't know, was the Sabarimala issue. Already there is a complaint that there is a deal between BJP and CPM, which is not correct. I would say that there are common interests between BJP and CPM. Both wanted to defeat the Congress. That is a common interest. Beyond that, I don't think there is a deal. But when the whole Sabarimala issue, particularly the gold theft case came, the Congress was at its peak in its criticism, and we didn't
Yes.
see much from the BJP side. This was a serious lapse. And remember that this is the second time that the BJP is missing the Sabarimala bus. Earlier in 2018, when the
Yeah.
women entry issue came, there also the BJP could not capitalize on that, and the Congress took all the advantage in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections from Kerala. And this time there is a golden opportunity. It is issue of gold theft. All believers, whether Hindu or other community, everybody was offended by the way in which the Devasam board members, politicians, plundered the money of the god. So why did BJP keep a silent then? So they did not take much work on that, and as a result of which, the focus is more on the UDF and less on the BJP, particularly on this issue. Because you are focusing on Vikasita Kerala, are you sidelining all the other issues? Kerala has religious issues, though not
Yeah.
seriously, but this is an issue. Is a political and religious issue. The gold theft, the money that has been given to the Lord by the believers. So this is where I think the BJP made a partial blunder there. They could have capitalized more on this issue. But
But
nevertheless, the focus.
did they wake up a little later, sir? Amit Shah was there in Kerala. Modi was there in Kerala. Amit Shah clearly made a Sabarimala promise this time around. So is that too little too late
Yeah, I
coming from
listened
him?
to that. I listened to that, but this was after Rahul Gandhi criticized Modi when he, because Modi, when he came to Kerala, in his speech in Palghat, he did not make a reference about it.
Yes.
But this is an issue which is almost 6 months old.
Yes.
Why did the politician did not come up? Well, when Rahul Gandhi raised this issue, Amit Shah definitely replied. But this could have been said much earlier. And now Modi is also saying that all the evildoers of Sabarimala gold theft case will be punished and CBI inquiry will go. But I wonder it's a little bit late. In politics, timing is very important. I think BJP missed on that.
Yes. Yes.
And the UDF took the benefit. And 1 minute on LDF, I would say LDF, whatever they did was focusing more on infrastructure development, plus the commissioning and growth of the Vizhinjam project. On these two counts, I think the left has done some good work, but the infrastructural project work was partly supported by the government of India. And that is
That's
where I think when the CPM publicized that as the achievement of the LDF government, they did not come mention anything about the contribution of the central government. And the BJP workers also did not say much on that. So the credit goes to LDF on that count. And Vizhinjam was definitely a good thing. It has a long way to go, but nevertheless, he did bring a lot of initiatives for the development, and Pinarayi has to be appreciated on that. And one more point, which the LDF government has shifted from its conventional communist ideology and adapted to the 21st century neoliberalism. So this neoliberalism and this has been criticized as crony capitalism too in some aspect. But this also led to corruption. But in any way, the CPM has become more neoliberal in the last 5 years than in any. So its projects, they say that the one difference with other parties, Congress is factional oriented, BJP is communal, and therefore we are the only party which is secular and have a firm decision under a strong leader. This is how the LDF is put.
I think the
Yeah.
Congress would like to believe that it was Uman Chandy who actually talked about Vizhinjam port and then brought it first to the state.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Because each time the LDF talks about the port, the UDF is very quick to come back with its repartee saying it was the former Kerala Chief Minister belonging to the Congress who actually made the first move on the port.
No, theoretically, yes. Theoretically, definitely Umanjandi, or historically, yes. Umanjandi only initiated it. But most of the work, 90% of the work came during this time only. The clearance was given by Umanjandi. And the initial steps was given during the previous government, no doubt about that. But by the time the tenure of the government ended in 2016, April, so in May the LDF government came to power, and thereafter they took initiatives for this. And during the last 10 years, they have moved a lot, and therefore it was surprising because the Congress say that had we brought the Vizhinjam project, the left should have challenged it and say that everything is crony capitalism with a billionaire like Adani. But since you are doing it, you are not making any critical comments on that. But in any case, your point is right. Umajandi government initiated it, but most of the work has come during this government.
Sharan, you wanted to ask a question.
So I was asking that, you said that the UDF has factional problems, the BJP has communal problems, and the LDF is projecting itself as a secular answer. Do all of LDF's problems lie within itself, sir? Like you said, its communism is evolving, which is probably not what the grassroots expect out of them. And of course, Pinarayi Vijayan and his obvious comparisons with Modi, ruling in an authoritative manner, inducting his son-in-law into the cabinet, removing and replacing the entire cabinet from the first time to the second time, but only retaining himself. Now, do all of LDF's problems stem from within, and is that going to be their unraveling, sir?
So you're saying that Pinarayi Vijayan is able to come out of all his problems. That's a point.
Are Pinarayi Vijayan's problems all stemming from within the party? One, obviously, because you said communism, or under him, the idea of communism is evolving into neoliberalism, and comparisons with Modi, sir. Yeah.
Because the party is undergoing in a very difficult situation, and this is the only communist government in the whole of the country. And internationally, the ideology of communism receives a lot of setbacks. And now they can't look towards China. And most of the time, CPM in Kerala is trying to bring in its theoretical classes the examples of Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, like that. So they shift their goalposts and they try to convince the party cadres. So many of the party cadres, particularly the senior party cadres, are unhappy in the way which the CPM is moving now. CPM has moved more towards the right, and it has moved more towards the right, and that too towards neo-corporatism, and that has brought a lot of confusion and also problems and challenges to the cadre of the Communist Party who believed in the conventional Marxist framework and then supported by many other theories. What they saw nowadays is that even LDF government is championing neoliberalism, capitalism, and they are bringing money from multiple places. And even they visit America and try to have international projects if possible. All these things are not very well appreciated by the cadres, and only those who are close to him, having a benefit from the government, they are appreciating him, but not everyone. So within the party, there is a criticism that the party has become more towards the right and it has become more corrupt. And this criticism is not accepted by the leadership. So, and therefore, the senior members, many of them like G. Sudhakaran, Kunyikannan, and many others have revolted from the party. And as you see, that the three of them are contesting elections now. Dissidents are contesting elections. And many are also having, and another few not even three, four are contesting elections, moving away from the CPM, and other cadres are also criticizing the party, but they don't want to do it in a public sense, and therefore there is a feeling that psychologically the hardcore cadres are demoralized, and they don't heart of heart doesn't want the government to come back again. They need a break, so that once they get a break, they can reorient themselves, activate themselves, and the cadres like DYFI, CITU, SFI, and all these people can become more active, conduct agitations, protest movements, and the UDF government will give them enough opportunities for protest movement and get back their popularity and the feeling that it is a radical revolutionary party. So this feeling is very much there, and only those who are close to power, and they're a big lot, and they misuse power, they are happy with the government, and most of the time they repeat saying that they are a left government, which is not. Practically, it is no more left because they are moving with the time. They are becoming more pragmatic. That is where there is a comparison with Narendra Modi. That's where there's a reference because both of them are practicing the same economic ideology. Economic policies are the same. Economic policies are same.
Right.
The difference is that Modi is more nationalist. CPM is not that a big nationalist party. It has international goals, but in practice they are moving more towards what is called the neoliberalism, and the neoliberal agenda has very much come up because this is Pinarayi has no other option because he cannot create a Cuba in Kerala. But if employment has to come, if economy has to revive, and if investment has to come, it can come only from the private sources, capitalist sources. So he modified his position. He won't admit it. But if you look at the policies, there is a clear evidence that the party has moved more towards the right and less towards the conventional idea. And internationally also, this is a reality. And therefore, Pinarayi Vijayan has successfully operated this. At the same time, he subsequently brought in welfare measures to the poor and also gave additional grants so that the poor also will believe that this is a government taking care of us. Although most of the time the government is more connected with investment and private investment coming from abroad. Have you noticed that there was a huge publicity 1 year ago when Pinarayi Vijayan and his government declared that Kerala has become completely free from absolute poverty?
Poverty.
Absolutely.
So it is
Yes.
a low poverty
Yes.
state. So that position is very much there, but all the but welfare measures are there. Even now the welfare measures are there, but there is no money to give on time. And if you remember the strike conducted by ASHA workers and that approach of the government, approach of the government by not giving them few hundred rupees more for their salaries was really pathetic because these ladies were working a lot, getting a peanut salary, and the left government did not give them any enhancement only because they did not join the CATU or the party and adopted a different political approach, and their political alliance seems to be not with the Communist Party of India Marxist, but with some other dissident communist movements. So even the very marginalized workers like ASHA workers were not helped. Although they are small in number, they could have been given some enhancement, but that didn't work. Institutionalized corruption is another important problem that is very much there. And institutionalized corruption from the party and even in the government, most of the decisions are taken with clear political interest. And that is why the governor of the state, who challenged this approach of
Yes.
politicizing universities, he began to intervene as chancellor. He did not clear the nominations of many vice chancellors in many universities during the tenure. So, and not only that, governor also interfered in the routine day-to-day working of the universities, which was otherwise a strong fortress of the CPIM, because
Yes.
the university has organized sectors like employees, teachers, board of studies, faculty. In all of these places, the party has a strong hold. Naturally, their interest will go in that line. There is a joke in Kerala that if you go to ISRO and take the list of the scientists in ISRO and ask them which association they are, 90% will be with the CPM. So this is a joke, but at least in Kerala state government, intellectuals are also moving more with the left. Maybe. So this is what the governor challenged. Governor said merit has to be kept, and even for appointment for guest faculty, governor interfered because it has been over politicized. There is a lot of truth in that. So all these brought in what is called institutionalized corruption. So party cadres were posted and they got enough positions in addition to getting positions in boards, corporations, public service commission. In all these places, political appointments went. Thank you.
Right.
So, Professor, if I may just ask you, sorry, Deepika, if I may just ask you, sir, just in addition, now this problems or rather this disillusionment of the cadre in the CPM won't allow them to vote for the UDF, or maybe they do. Even if the top leadership join hands, the cadre and their fights remain perpetual. They are not going to join hands. So will such a situation arise in Kerala as well, where LDF cadre or the UDF cadre who are disillusioned with their respective parties will look at a third option, and that third option could be anyone. Right now, BJP positions itself as the third. Is this possible?
Uh, No, that is not easily possible because the UDF cadres, when they are disillusioned, they either move out of party politics or they pick up small jobs or businesses, and they are not that oriented in politics. But as a result of which, UDF may lose many of the seats and also get demoralized further. So there is no comparison with the LDF on the other side. LDF has got a very clear, strong cadre system. Both
Right.
communist parties have strong cadres, party branches, and all these things. And there is a fear that these cadres who are disillusioned with CPM and CPI may vote for Nota or may not vote or may not enthusiastically join the propaganda. That is because of their disillusionment. Many of the cadres, heart of heart, may feel that let us go to the opposition now. That feeling has come because they must be feeling so sad with the kind of corruption that has taken place. Why Kerala is not repeating Bengal is because Kerala doesn't have a Mamata Banerjee. Kerala doesn't have a strong leader because Congress is weak. And you mentioned about the third force, and the third force is something led by BJP is not appreciated by either of the constituents of UDF or LDF because there is a traditional untouchability with the BJP in Kerala, and the BJP is trying to overcome it through its developmental agenda, and the cadres cannot easily move to the BJP. Maybe one or two or few may join, but it doesn't make a big difference because BJP has to become a mainstream party with legitimacy and with acceptability of the civil society. That is coming, but it is taking a long time, for a long time. And once a word about BJP is mentioned in Kerala, the narrative of the journalists is they connect with RSS and say that
Right.
RSS is very militant in Kerala. And whatever happens in North India, like Bajrang Dal attacking church or attack on eating beef, those who are eating beef, etc., are over politicized in Kerala and say that your freedom to worship is challenged, your freedom to take food is challenged, and therefore BJP and RSS are fascist organizations. And this message has a lot of takers in Kerala, unlike in other states of India. Maybe in Tamil Nadu also this may work. Kerala and Tamil Nadu it may work, and as a result of which, many people believe that that way BJP is the most communal party, and they may say that Muslim League is a secular party, whereas BJP is a communal. So the narrative is anti-BJP. That is why
Right.
BJP takes so much of time to come.
But do you think they'll actually open an account and set foot in the assembly this time
Sure,
around?
sure, sure. They may open account at least three. At least
Which
three.
are the constituencies do you actually think, sir? Is Nemo a sure shot constituency?
Yeah, name them first. Second is Kazhakoottam in Trivandrum. and third is Palakkad. These
Shobha
are the
Surendran.
Sobasri. Yeah. And there are
Right,
other two constituencies where BJP has some chance. One is Chatanur in Kollam district.
right.
Chat- Chatanur in Kollam
Chattanooga,
district.
yes.
And the fifth one may win or may not win. I am not sure. First three I am pretty sure. The last one I would say is Manjeshwar.
Oh,
Manjeshwar. It
that's
is
a
close to,
surprise.
yeah. And because for the last 30 years, Manjeshwar and Kasargod Assembly constituency, BJP is always number two in every election.
Yes, yes.
Because there is tactical voting between UDF and LDF to prevent the victory of the BJP, and therefore the BJP never gets into. So they lost power once by 86 votes. They lost power, sorry, they lost victory by 86 votes. And same candidate, Surendran, who is contesting even now, lost by 880 votes. And many years
Right,
ago, KG Marar also lost by 900 votes. So there is a BJP has a strong base in Manjeshwar, no doubt about it. But this tactical voting prevent their victory. But this time there is a possibility. I'm not saying 100%. And that possibility is because the SDPI candidate, which I mentioned, SDPI candidate, although they withdrew in favor of the UDF, the SDPI cadres need not vote for UDF. They may abstain from voting or they may vote for the left candidate, left democratic party. And if they vote for LDF, LDF will be a poor third. And if that votes of the SDPI doesn't come to UDF, BJP
right,
may split. That is a possibility because on all other times the BJP becomes unlucky in Manjeshwar and Kasaragod. Even before BJP became popular, even in 80s, 87 they came second in Manjeshwar and Kasaragod. In one or two
right.
pockets in Tirunelveli also. Like those days, Nemam was not there, but it was called Trivandrum East. They came second in 1987. So it is not that BJP is not having roots. It is having roots, but the tactical voting prevent their roots. Only in 2016 they had an MLA, and the next election, the another candidate contested and he lost. But this time, I'm sure BJP will have around 3 seats in the assembly and around
Yeah,
18% votes.
that's a
18,
huge
one
vote
eight,
share yeah, 18.
18,
So that's a huge vote share
18%.
actually that we're talking about. In fact, I think that would cross even what the BJP is expected to net in Tamil Nadu. I think in Tamil Nadu, they'll be in the early double digits, maybe about 10, 11%. The
Yeah,
Kerala election,
Kerala
this
also had this double digit came much later. I can
double
say,
digit came much later. Yes.
yeah, they had a time when they got only 2%, 4%, 6%, 8%, and finally 11%, and then they grew slowly because the political culture of Kerala, considering the critique on Hindutva, and also the powerful presence of minorities, and again the very powerful presence of the Communist Party, all these offer big challenge to the BJP. That's a real
Right.
situation.
Right. So this is turning out to be a very tough and a tight contest, very unusual in Kerala's electoral history. This contest is also being touted as one that will throw up many case studies, sir. This Kerala election is going to be splitting Christian votes three ways. I think the BJP has been very successful in winning a lot of Christian dominated areas as well. How do you think the Christian vote is really going to play out? From Anup Antony, we had Sean, we have so many. We have the sitting minister George Kurian. All of them actively canvassing. Even Pala, I think a lot of church leaders have come forward and professed their support to the BJP. How do you think it's really going to transfer into votes on the final day?
The Christian outreach of the BJP has been somewhat in a predicament situation because the BJP was trying to approach the church because the Kerala Christian Church has more than 16 factions, and some of the factions were willing to support the BJP in certain elections. For example, in the last parliament election, Suresh Gopi did receive a lot of Christian votes.
Yes.
So building a bridge with the Christian community is not that difficult, but the problem is different. For example, when when some anti-Christian movements take place in North India or in Orissa or some other place, it gets a big currency in Kerala,
Yes.
and naturally naturally it affects the feelings of the Christianity, Christian community, and the church very much. Now, the problem has come in the form of FCRA.
Yes, yes.
This FCRA bill had come at an odd time. It should not have come at this time. And the BJP, instead of justifying the need for national security, etc., straight away went for postponing its presentation. That was good, but it should have been brought, should not have been brought at this time when midterm assembly elections were there. So
Right.
the Christian outreach is, to some extent, it is catching up. You are right in the case of Sean George, even PC George, not much with George Kurian, but Anup Antony in Tiruvalla may get
Yes.
large of folks, and he has been this he has, and now less than a person like Prime Minister Modi came and supported his candidatureship, and I think that Anup Antony has a bright future in BJP also, very young and very committed. So
What about IPS officer, the first DGP, Srilekha, R. Srilekha? She
yeah, Sri
seems to be showing
Lanka
a
is
lot of
contesting.
promise.
Yeah. Sri Lanka is contesting from Vaturka constituency, which is my constituency also. It is the Vaturka constituency is a shifting constituency. It is not a pocket borough of any party. The CPIM has won several times. The Congress has won several times. BJP usually comes second in assembly elections. In
Right.
corporation elections, it comes first, and then in parliament elections, it comes first. So that's why I said this is a very volatile constituency. And given the fact that you have three VIPs contesting in the constituency, the MLA VK Prasad is from the CPM, Sri Lanka from the BJP, and K. Karanagar and son K. Muralidharan is the third guy.
Yes.
So it is a clear triangular contest, and Muralidharan has a problem because he left the constituency in 2016, half the way. He was elected with a big majority and he left the constituency to become an MP. And halfway with the MPship, he came to Neamam to defeat another BJP candidate. So the constituency, particularly the BJP candidates, may have a lot of animosity with the Congress candidate, and the RSS may ensure the defeat of the Congress candidate. So there is a rumor saying that, which I don't believe, the RSS candidates may support the CPM candidate to prevent the victory of the Congress candidate. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Sri Lanka gets the backing of the RSS, according to me. But
Right.
whether it helps her to win the election, I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't say, and I don't want to predict on that. But it's a three-way contest. It's a three-way contest. I think CPM followed by Sri Lanka and Muralidharan.
No election debate is ever complete without talking about the Muslim League and its impact. I think the Muslims in Kerala are going to be strongly consolidating behind the IUML and the UDF. In the event of a hung parliament, do you see a case where the League will actually break away from the UDF and go join hands with the LDF to be part of the government?
In politics, anything can happen. As you know very well, it is art of the possible. But I think if the LDF is short of few seats, they won't try to get the Muslim League. They may try to get the Kerala Congress Joseph group,
Okay.
which would be sufficient for them
Joseph
to
Mani, yeah.
get a majority. Because if it is going to hung assembly, it will be close to 65, 68, etc. You don't need much more than 5. And Muslim
Yes.
League is going to be 20. Minimum 20 this time. They're
Minimum 20.
contesting 20 So I don't know whether whether the CPM would welcome Muslim League to the fold. And if they welcome Muslim League to the fold, it will be suicidal for the CPM because that will be a gateway for the BJP to attract the Hindu people, Hindu voters of the CPM to the BJP. If the
Right.
CPM aligns with the Muslim League, the Hindu community members of the CPM will shift to BJP. So they won't take such a risk. That is my
Right.
take. Yeah.
Right. To close, sir, what are the 5 factors that are actually working for the LDF and UDF? And what are the factors that are not working for them?
As I mentioned, anti-incumbency for the LDF, I mentioned I started with price rise, and women are highly upset with the kind of the government. price rise. Price rise for commodities, price rise for essential service to the government. Second, unemployment is huge. Among the youth, it is almost 30%. Huge.
Right.
Third, huge economic debt of the state. Fourth is the poor shape of hospitals run by government.
Public
Lack
health
of
infrastructure.
doctors, lack of medicines, lack of equipment. And fifth, definitely the the poor quality of education in the state, and which compels students to migrate to other parts of the country or foreign countries in large numbers, even for undergraduate program. And finally, corruption. All these will work against LDF, for the UDF, and partly for the BJP. And for the LDF in favor, I would say its developmental work, infrastructure development, and its projects, number two. And third, their welfare policies, particularly aiming at the poor sections of the society, most vulnerable sections of society. So these are the three factors. Number one, developmental projects, infrastructure projects. Number two, huge projects like Vidinya. And third, welfare programs, which can include freebies also. This time, freebie did not come that way. But anyway, the LDF had openly committed that it was successful in eradicating complete poverty in the state. So deep poverty is eliminated, but poverty is still there. So that commitment, though these three factors, the very poor may support the LDF, and middle class among them, they may feel that definitely this government has brought infrastructure projects, why not we support them? And one more factor, the unity of the LDF is also going in their favor.
Yes.
With a very powerful leader like Pinarayi Vijayan, in comparison to the weak leadership of the UDF.
Sharan, would you like to offer your closing comments on the Kerala election? I think it's a story of paradoxes.
Okay. I think Professor Gopakumar has really summed it up really well for us. I think after the 2021 elections, it's no more a yo-yo sort of an arrangement that the UDF or the LDF believes that one will take, they'll take turns governing the state. So I think now the expectations of the people have changed. Voter behavior has definitely changed. So I think 2021 was a watershed moment in Kerala's political landscape. And I think 2026 will rewrite a few additional codes on possibly which way the electoral behavior will be, sort of very forward looking, I would imagine. So I think it's not an easy elections to call, but definitely a very close elections. And I think after, when the results are out, there will be many more points to talk about. Whatever Professor Gopakumar said, whatever I've observed, everything will be put to the test when the results are out. Kerala votes on April 9th. We'll have to see voter turnout. We'll have to see enthusiasm. We'll have to see cadre. There's so many stories remaining to be done from Kerala. There's a lot of stories to be told. So let's see what kind of verdict the people of Kerala will deliver on, on results day.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I
I think
think
you made a very good point. I would say that the absence of a visible wave is a problem. Because of the tripolar contest, we cannot easily locate the wave. We are trying, because usually we get the wave. That is not, maybe it is very silent, but very determined. Who knows? It is very silent. And because since the Panchayat elections were so close, less than 100 days ago, and since the animosity of the government is there for many other reasons, we have a tendency to conclude that it is in the favor of UDF. That is a simple conclusion, and the contest is so tight that the LDF tried to bring in the outgoing MLAs to contest again, because they thought that the public connectivity of the MLAs were good, so that
yes.
that will help them to get more seats. That was the strategy that the left implemented by fielding 90% of the MLAs again to the contest, even for a third time, so that whatever they did for the village or for their constituency, they can market it and ask for renewing the mandate. Through that, the anti-Pinarayi idea will get immersed or will get diffused. That was their strategy. Whether it will be successful or not, we can't say. But the fact of the matter is that the competition is so intense, and because of the presence of the BJP and capturing votes in a couple of constituencies, I think they will come second in at least 15 to 20 constituencies, and it has deposed the bipolar framework so much, and that makes this election very, very complex. Thank you.
Well, I think you've had the last word, sir. In God's own country, I think each party is hoping for a miracle. We'll only have to wait until May 4th to see which party actually walks away with the prize and forms the government. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. We hope to see
Thank
you on April 9th, on May 4th, to see what you have to say about the way the people of Kerala have voted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Guru Kumar. Thank you, Deepika.